We've pushed the limits of what we thought was possible. Pushing the boundaries of human potential. What technology can enhance us beyond our...
This is trophi.ai, an AI Rocket League coach, and it's absolutely crazy what you can do with this. If you've ever heard of ballchasing.com, it's a lot like that, but on steroids.
You can press P and a pro demo will come up, and this is what's so cool and so unique about Trophi, is that this is not seen anywhere else, and it's just a great way to kind of show you how to do a training pack without having to side by side watch a YouTube video.
And this is actually really cool. Training paths. So you basically, you know the skill trees from Assassin's Creed, Spider-Man, Sekiro, you know that sort of games where you have to, you get skill points, use them, you unlock new skills. This is sort of very similar, but instead of actually getting skill points, you're actually doing the mechs. And also a cool feature as well, guys, watch this. You can slow it down. You can actually slow-mo it like this. So if you're really struggling, what you need to do, you can actually look for yourself and just have a look at them exact movements that you're doing there. Look, it's really cool. I really like it. And
alongside helping with mechanics, it also has a feature that analyzes any of your saved replays. That way you can see what you're doing well and what you need to improve on. It even has this cool post-game analysis that you can see stats from the game you just played.
This isn't just merch, it's what teams wear when they mean business. Every stitch, every print, every detail, made to perform. Trusted by the grind, from grassroots to championship halls. Build your team store. Wear the brand that wins. SpartanWare, trusted by the grind.
To the rsc-eu B stream. We're here for Championship Saturday in the Challenger tier. By the end of the night, we will have our champion, and bringing you the first game here on the B stream, I'm Char, and joined alongside me is Big Chebs. How are you doing?
I'm good. Haven't done many casts this season. I came back in for the play-ins in Rival. So my first cast in Challenger, so I'm excited to see what these teams have got for us. Atmos versus Cadence.
Yeah. First off, if we quickly jump over to our talent predictions before we get into, or the play-in bracket, that works too. Yeah, we see Canaans, they come through the upper bracket. They're not the first seed, so Atmos is the first seed, and they got that 4-3 win over Pulse to send them into this matchup. Which, yeah, good win. Pulse is a good team, but Game 7, I didn't see the series, but they definitely didn't win it convincingly. So Atmos, they'll be fancying their chances heading into this one. But looking at the rest of the play-ins bracket very quickly, we had Shamali going through the upper bracket with a 4-0 over Eclipse. I casted that series, and it was very, very one-sided in favor of Shamali. So Shamali looking very, very strong heading into this playoffs. And then for the lower bracket as well, we had Ember and Thralls making it through, both of them winning 2 games to make it through, so neither of the 4 seeds able to make it through that play-ins bracket.
Yeah, always something to look at, both teams making that run, but now they've got to play those teams that are the higher seed that have dropped down from the upper bracket. Looking on for the rest of this evening, Atmos versus Canaan's our first game here. Then on the main stream is Amarok versus Jimali. So 2 very, very strong games in our RP semi-finals. And then later on this evening, I think it's match admin games will be Ember, Pulse, and Thralls versus Eclipse.
Yeah. These are our matchups. We've got our top 8 teams here in the Challenger tier, and like you say, our matchup right now that we're doing is Atmos versus Canaans. But taking a quick look at our talent predictions, and the Chally tier is very interesting, Big Chavs, because like in Academy and Prospect, there was kind of a few standout teams that everyone was predicting to win it, but it's very, very spread out in the Challenge tier. The most is Amarok with 3. You've got Canaans with 1, Atmos with 2, so both of these teams, someone's predicting them to win. You've got Azteca with 3 as well, but the tier as a whole is very, very spread out compared to the last two on who they think is going to win.
Yeah, definitely. It's something you don't really see too much when we look over at these talent predictions. Such a range. For example, Masters predicting NXS to come first, whereas Veiled predicting them to get knocked out straight away. So very much like a seesaw across the entire talent predictions.
Yeah, it is. And now we've got some talent predictions there, but now me and you, Chebs, we've got to do some predictions for this series. So yeah, I'll start off. I think that both of these teams are very, very solid. I do think that actually, if I'm not mistaken, DSQ are playing with a Prospect sub-up right now in Molino. But yeah, I was going to go Deathcloud before, and I'm going to go Deathcloud now. I'm going to get 4-2 in favor of Atmos.
I don't even know what my prediction is. I left it up to Shattered, so whatever pops up, there you go. I mean, that's what we're going with for this series. We're going with the I don't care to 0.
Fair enough. But we do have all of our players in the lobby, so we will be able to get kicked off with this upper round 1 matchup in the Challenger tier. It's the start of another day of playoffs, the 3rd RSC playoffs of this season. We're almost halfway through the postseason. After tonight, we'll have 3 of our champions, and we will be halfway there to the end of RSC 17. But that all starts here at the start of this Challenger playoff.
As the players hit the field, both teams ready for this one. We see Cynics versus Inflict to take this kickoff off. Skip straight away, go for the side of Atmos, and a quick one scored by Skips, and an unlucky kickoff just popping over the top of the cheater, and Skips able to follow that one up well, and a good start for Atmos.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant start here for this Atmos roster, managing to get 1 in off the kickoff. Perfect way to get started as you mean to continue in this series. And this Canaan's roster, not only are they're not even playing with a Challenger sub, they're playing with a Prospect sub 1465 CMV Molino near the bottom end of Prospect. So obviously some availability issues there from both the Challenger teams and the Prospect teams. I would guess we'll see how that ends up going and how that ends up affecting them against this Atmos side, which is such a powerhouse in the Challenger tier. So Molino, he's really going to need to step up, playing at a level that's a lot higher than what he's used to. We'll see if he's up to the task.
Definitely, and Jaren up for that one. Cynics, good save to keep the lead on the side of Atmos, and definitely from the side of Molino needing to step up in this game, and the side of Canaan's really already kind of under pressure we've seen so far in this first opening minute. But some good touches coming out from the side of Canaan's, as Molino now in that back corner picks it up, trying to get past Nextfox, does manage to do so, but no boost to follow it up. But Jaren able to get on the end of it. Inflict waiting, is there for the cover. There's now a drop down into the middle. Jaren turns again, miss from Skips. Shot from Jaren, only is close to the crossbar. Molino following it up, and that's a tied game. The Prospect sub coming in for the side for the side of Canaan's, scoring their first goal and tying up this game.
Canaan's on the score sheet, 1-1, just over a minute and a half gone. And now both of these teams are level. Both of these teams will be hunting for this next goal. Jaran off the kickoff, booming it off the sidewall, looking to follow as well to the backboard, double tap, but it's a very, very tough angle, just keeping that pressure on though. Molino gets beat out to that ball. Jaran now off the back wall, hitting across. Skips is there for it. Gets that off the sidewall, and now a race to the ball. Molino manages to block out Cynics, but Cynics somehow manages to follow that one up off the corner. Don't know how he stayed on that one. Next Fox just sending that one right down. Molino, bit of an awkward touch. That's going to make Jaran very, very awkward, but manages to get a touch away. And Atmos, they're just putting on more and more pressure here. They're just threatening this Kanan's net constantly so far after that Kanan's goal.
Yeah, definitely trying to regain that lead. As now we see there's still the pressure on, but Inflict is able to get a good 50 over the top. Another good 50 onto next Fox. This gives Jaran a free ball, shot down. Skips is there. Molino not able to kind of 50 that one. Does manage to get a challenge in the end. But Molino, I think, 50ing it back towards his own corner. So now next Fox, good 50. Cynics is up, gets one off the ceiling, but Inflict on the backboard are able to clear that one away. And a good 50 against Skips, kind of relieving the pressure. Shot from next Fox, saved by Jaran. And you can really see this Atmos attack starting to mount.
Skips off the backboard to the backboard. Next Fox keeping that pressure on. Inflict trying to get it out, manages to get it. Zero boost, but does really, really well. Gets past two. Next Fox trying to take this one back down the other end, but Molino's on for it now. Kanan's, can they start a little bit of pressure? Skips doesn't want that to happen. Can't get the flip reset though. That's into the middle. No one's there for it for Kanan's, and next Fox opts for the fake, and now down the other end, the flick for Molino. Jaran can't get the shot on net though. The Kanan's counter-attack almost proving fruitful for them, and Kanan's, they're looking to spark an attack here. They're looking to try and put some life into this game one that they've been on the back foot for so much of it.
Yeah, but now Cynics trying to kind of keep the grasp on it for Atmos. Good bump on the backboard. Inflict still there though. Able to play that one down. Skips trying to play Cynics in, but couldn't quite. Double commit from the side of Atmos. Now Cynics 50 with Molino. Now Jaran and Inflict both on the backboard. Jaran able to control this one. 50 against Skips into the corner. Molino and Inflict are there. A little bit of miscommunication as now Inflict, zero boost, is able to play that one away. Now Skips shot on target. Jaran there to save it. And Molino now free ball challenged by Cynics. 50 coming through. As the ball ends up in that back corner with Skips. Jaran trying to challenge this one. Does manage to do so. A demo on the far side onto Molino. There's now a ball across. Molino awkward for it. Bumped by next Fox. Jaran up, is able to make the save, and Cynics almost pulling that one off for the side of Atmos. But still the pressure mounted on this Kanan side. The next Fox now challenged by Molino well. As he plays that ball across to Inflict. Inflict not too much boost to work with. Tries to get it on controlled, but Molino really bad touch. Plays it away from Jaran. As now this ball trying to get across to the middle. Inflict not able to get there. Cynics off the crossbar. Next Fox following it up. Shot again off the crossbar. Finally followed up by Skips. And that's the second goal for the side of Atmos. 3 seconds left, and really awkward defending from the side of Kanan's, and definitely capitalized on by Atmos.
Yeah, it's definitely been coming for a long while here in this game one. 3 seconds left for Kanan's. That's up the wall. Skips is there too. It gets the pinch. Molino has to keep this one up. Can't do it. Can't make connection. The ball drops to the floor. Atmos take game one, but Kanan's, they kept it close, even though they were on the back foot for a lot of that game. 6 saves for the side of Kanan's. They forced Atmos into some awkward positions. 6 shots for Kanan's, 4 saves on the side of Atmos. Atmos, they had a lot of shots though, 12 shots, only 6 of them being saved and 2 into the net. So that's 4 shots they registered without a save or a goal. So the shooting accuracy maybe isn't there for Atmos right now, but they did just enough to take that game one.
Yeah, you don't always need that perfect shooting if you're able to hold up that pressure, kind of playing it off the backboard to a teammate, playing it kind of dangerously across for a teammate. They get registered as a shot, but sometimes they are a pass, and Atmos definitely holding that pressure well, but definitely got to look at that shooting percentage for this next game, as Kanan's kept that one very, very close, and Atmos waiting till the very dying minutes to take that second game. Take the second goal.
But...
There you go.
yeah, I. Well, maybe Atmos will take the second game, but they certainly won't want to let that happen, Kanans, and they put up a decent fight in that game one, even with that very low CMV prospect player, Molino. He didn't seem out of place in this lobby. He's holding his weight very, very well. Obviously got that Kanan's goal, got Kanan's only goal so far in this series, and yeah, very, very solid signs here from Kanans, and they're definitely not out of this series by a long shot. They want to get back into this as quickly as possible though, because 2-0 down, that's when it starts to get a little bit worrying. That's when the mental can start to play a factor. So they want to take this back 1-1 as Skips just put a sidewall on net. Luckily for Kanans, Molino able to save it out. 30 seconds gone. Neither of these teams able to really threaten anything apart from that little bit of a threat from the sidewall.
Yeah, but this one a little bit dangerous. Molino is able to get a touch on it. Good pass backs from Sinit. Skips not quite in the position he wanted to be, maybe not enough boost to do too much with it. Jaren now gets a nice controlling touch. Going to try and play this ball across them, and is committed though. Has now inflict up, is beaten out by Nextfox. Jaren 0 boost, is going to be able to maybe pick up that corner. No, misses it on the 0 boost. Ball goes across from Nextfox. Molino there to make that crucial touch. As the shot goes back across, no one there for it. And that miss of the boost from Jaren really coming back to bite them as Atmos take the first goal.
Yeah, no one able to claw that one out the net for Kanan. Skips will get another one on the board here for Atmos. Their first of this game. They take the lead, and now maybe a second here with Cynics. That's to the backboard. Who's up for it? Skips on it again, looking for the shot. Can't quite find it, and the team pinch from Kanan's just a little bit wide, but manages to switch them from defense into attack. Molino off the corner, doesn't get the touch. Jaran just trying to keep it in. Jaran again looking for the shot. Cynics is there, keeps it out. Molino trying to take this one forward. Next Fox is there onto it though. Inflict across to the sidewall. That one's gonna bounce up. No one from Atmos there. Kanans, they just can't get past the midfield line right now. Next Fox right to the backboard. Cynics is up for it and sinks the shot. This is what the worry would have been for Kanans. If Atmos start to get into their rhythm, they can definitely run away with games. And it looks like in this game too, they're starting to do that.
Yeah, a good finish from Cynics and a great pass from Next Fox. 0 boost off the ceiling, passing that one down. And this, another very, very awkward kickoff, and Skips making that goal, making that lead 3. As again, the ball popping over that cheater, leaving the third man very, very awkward to get back across. And yeah, it's the second time in this series we've seen a kickoff goal go in, and a little bit worrying from the side of Kanans. And now Jaren up 50 with Cynics. Was going to come down. Molino up. No one really following it. Skips. Maybe gets the reset. Goes for a shot. Doesn't quite get the reset, but fakes out the entire team as Jaren's able to finally get a touch. Cynics follows it up. All players from Kanan 0 boost. And yeah, this one's really being run away with by Atmos.
Yeah, 4-0. Just over 2 minutes gone here. Atmos, they're absolutely flying right now in this game too, but Kanans, they are crumbling. They look so awkward on the defense, not really able to get much of an offense going, but Inflict, he brings one back with a lovely air dribble.
Yeah, great control on this one. Picks up that mid boost, gets one, and then gets the second as Next Fox tries to clear it, just popping it over him, and it's one back. Is it a consolation or the start of a comeback?
Yeah, they need to work quickly, but half the game is still to go, and that goal will give them the world of confidence here that they can turn this one around. Molino pops over one, looking for the second touch, just sends that into Skips. Skips, really nice first touch, controlling that off the wall, just playing the 50, so patient there, but it doesn't end up working out. Molino can't squeeze that one in past Cynics. Now into the middle, Jaran will pop it up. Double commit on the backline for Atmos, but next Fox able to recover it. Molino has the chance and the shot, but skips will keep it out. Canaans, they're starting to put some pressure on. They're starting to put some threat. That's a bump. Who's there? Inflict just doesn't have the boost off the backboard with the second touch. Inflict makes this very, very interesting.
Yeah, great bump from Molino. Whether intentional or not, it gives Inflict that time he needs to play that backboard touch. He doesn't have the boost to get round it, so the backboard touch, following it up with a nice clinical finish, and cuts the deficit yet again. And with 2 minutes left, only 2 goals separating them, definitely doable. Molino, good 50, plays out 2 of them after the double commit. Jaron now up onto the ceiling, is able to get the 50 on Cynics, but not able quite to get the touch he wants. As now Molino just about getting a touch on that one, as Cynics dangerously looking for it. As now the ball down to Cynics yet again, no boost, spins himself out. Inflict does have the boost to stay with this one. Skip, soft touch, is just about saved. Ball goes down under Jaron. Molino not able to get there, and Next Fox gets his first of the game.
Yeah, and that's not what you wanted to see if you are a Canaans fan. They couldn't keep that momentum going. They get those 2 goals. They want to keep on rolling, keep on playing with that momentum, but Next Fox just halts that in its tracks, and now this game is looking all but finished here. 1 minute 20, 3 goals needed for Canaans. They need a quick response. Skips though into the sidewall. That one pops up. This could be a chance for another shot. It's on target, and I'm not sure who it was, but the Canaans defender will help him out, and Jaran just sends that one into his own net. Inflict can't reach it. Canaans, it's really worrying signs right now, Chefs.
Yeah, Jaron, I think, trying to put that one onto the corner, but he's got to have more faith in Molino, who's in the net ready to save that one. As now Jaron up in the air, looking for the reset, gets the musty over the top. Next Fox is on the backboard though. Very dangerous touch, and very well played, but not quite able to do enough to get it into the net. Molino now down, Jaron cross to the middle. Inflicts there, great shot from Inflict, and maybe kind of some resurrection for the side of Canaans. And I was about to say, do you think we're looking at a kind of timeout region for the side of Canaans? But Inflict definitely the man stepping up, and it's kind of on his teammates now to really help him out in this push.
Yeah, and they've got 45 seconds left here. 3 goals, might make it 4 here. Skips, he will. And in answer to your question, Shebs, yes, they definitely need to take a timeout.
Yeah, just reset that mental, because conceding 7 is always rough, but doing it in playoffs is even rougher. And with 40 seconds left, it's about keeping composed, keeping that mental in check, and maybe we see that timeout come through. Cynics trying to make it 8, but a good block in the end. Skips across to the wall. Inflict is there, not too much boost to work with, goes for a pop, can't really follow it. Next Fox able to get that clearance away. Belida onto the wall again, 0 boost, but Jaron 100 is able to get a nice pop up, goes for the reset over Skips, but Next Fox following that one up in the net. Only 15 seconds left on the clock, and I think both teams looking towards game number 3 now. But it's whether we get another goal, and yes, Skips again, 5th goal of this game. Some would say that's a steal, but I think it's reassurance that it's gone in.
Yeah, that's what Skips will say, certainly. His 5th of the game. He's stat padding a little bit, but why not when you have that opportunity? Boost up those stats a little bit, and yeah, 8-3 here in this game too. And if we don't see a timeout, I'll be absolutely stunned. Maybe 9, but Molino does very well, to be fair to him. Inflict will just let it drop. Atmos take game 2 in an absolute landslide. And yeah, Canaans, I don't think they're taking a timeout. We haven't seen it in the chat yet. We'll keep you updated on that one, but they have to turn this around somehow. And right now it's just looking like that game 1 they were in it, but game 2 they were just completely outclassed by this Atmos team.
Yeah, there's just too many mistakes. That's all it really looks like. There's too many mistakes coming out from the side of Caden's, kind of defensively and in that midfield. And that's what's causing a lot of these goals. There's a lot of them that are just kind of being thrown from halfway, from the kind of edge of the box area, and there's just no one there challenging it. It's just that little bit too slow, or the positioning slightly out. Yeah, and Atmos really capitalizing on it, scoring 8 in that game, and it's got to be one that now Cadence have got to keep that mental and try their best to get back into the series.
Yeah, you go 3-0 down, and it's safe to say that it is pretty much over at that point. The reverse sweep can happen, but especially in the best of 7, it is very, very tough. So this game here is all but do or die for Canaans. They don't want to go 3-0 down, especially to a roster of Atmos' quality that is playing at the quality that they are. They're providing such a threat on the offense and not really giving Canaans anything to deal with. They're making it so hard for Canaans to score right now. They can't break through this pressure. The game is so heavily being played in the Canaans half that it's so tough to get anything going, as we even see that immediately in the start of this game 3. It's just all Atmos pressure. Now a little bit of a relief here for Canaans, but they can't find the finish, and now it's just back down their side and they have to go once again. Skips into the middle, that's a chance maybe for Cynics, but Inflict will save it out.
Yeah, all I'm seeing so far in this game is an Inflict masterclass as he pinches that one off the post, and already 200 points from the side of Inflict, and his teammates barely scraping 20, and that one is going to be the first nail from Atmos in this game, and again, no one challenging it. Pretty much the whole of the Canaans roster on 0 boost. Jaren's just picked up the corner and not able to scramble across for that one, and a goal in the first minute, well, just after it, as now Canaans really need an answer quickly to keep them from running away with it, as we saw in the last game, and that might be it. Jaren's got a cross off the post, and again off the post from NextFox, but just about kept out in the end. Inflict's going to be rushing this one down, doesn't quite get a touch or a demo, as Cynics now not able to get a touch across the middle. 50 coming out from Jaren, as he now plays this one long. Skips is up, so is Molino. No one gets a touch. Cynics able to get up quickly enough. Inflict's back across to the middle. Gets the 50 against Skips, but no shot in the end. Now Jaren, a little bit awkward. 0 boost. Cynics is going to steal it as well, but does well enough to get across to NextFox's shot. And now we see Atmos starting to pile that pressure, but a little bit of a relief as Molino shot on target, saved by Cynics. NextFox over the top, and a little bit of an overcommit from the side of Canaans, as now Skips is intercepted by Inflict, and another touch by Jaren keeps this one in the midfield, and goodness me, we're starting to speed up this series.
Skips off the backboard, Jaren's there, trying to clear it out, gets a second touch as well, but Cynics will just keep that ball in that DSQ half. NextFox off the sidewall, this could be a chance, the open net will be sunk. NextFox puts Atmos 2 to the better here.
Yeah, great 50 from NextFox, basically gives them an open net after the double commit, and definitely worrying signs again from Canaans in this game, but they get us back underway as NextFox keeping that one in the midfield. Inflict gets on the end of it, both Inflict and Molino there for a double commit coming out yet again, and Jaren left all on his own, does have the boost to work with, but NextFox there, ball is going to bounce across dangerously, only as high as the backboard, as now Jaren able to get one touch, able to get a second, just about. As now Inflict, 50 against NextFox. Molino a little bit awkward for this one. Going to make it even more awkward for himself, and NextFox is going to capitalize on it. And the third for Atmos in game number 3.
We just see even more Atmos domination. No boost for Jaren, no boost for Molino. No hope here for Canaans in this game 3. Even with 2 minutes left, it feels like it's just all but done. Canaans, they haven't got anything going, even less than the previous 2 games. They're struggling to put anything. They got one hit on the post, I think, earlier in this game, but apart from that, no meaningful chances here. And Atmos, they're just looking better and better. Next, Fox now again with another opportunity, a double commit coming out for Canaan's. Molino, though, does well to pop it up, but it just goes straight to Next Fox. No one challenging, and he has the free top corner.
The hat trick from Next Fox, and yet again, low boost from pretty much the entire roster on Canaan's. Atmos really holding the pressure well, and eventually that mistake of no one challenging leads to another goal for the side of Atmos. And Canaan's really need to switch something around. Whether that can come from a timeout, we will see, but going to match point in game number 4 is never what you want to be on the back foot of. But here we see Jaren gets one touch, Inflict gets another, is able to kind of control this, stays with it. There's now both Jaren and Inflict up, only as close as the post. Molino 50. That one's going to be a little bit awkward. Jaren not able to get a touch, but it's slowed down enough for Molino and Inflict to get back. Inflict's going to have to read this one, doesn't manage to do so, but Jaren is there. There's now Cynics back across towards the middle. Jaren, one touch on the backboards. He's going to try and follow this one up. Next Fox, slow down touch, pass back to Skips. Skips goes up with it, off the backboard. Is anyone there to follow? Cynics sitting a little bit too deep to follow that one up. It's now Next Fox pinch up onto the backboard. Jaren's there to meet it. Ball goes back out. Skips waiting. Does have the boost to keep it going. Are we going to see a rule 1? No, not quite. As now Cynics gets the touch under. Molino. Inflict is there, and it's really all about kind of wasting time at this point. We know what the result is, and it's kind of getting to the end of those 25-30 seconds.
Yeah, time keeps ticking down here. Canaan's maybe get one for the road. Inflict. That flick doesn't quite find the top corner. And as the countdown hits the screen, it's very worrying for Canaan's. They go 3-0 down here in this series, needing a reverse sweep if they want to continue in this upper bracket. But the nature of this tournament being a double elimination bracket, even if they do go down to, even if they do lose this series, they're not out the tournament. So yeah, they want the reverse sweep here. Obviously you want to win all the games you can, but it's not the end of the world. But if you do go into the lower bracket and play like this, you're going to lose. Like, there's nothing else to it. They need to pick it up. They need to step up their gameplay, and once again, they're not taking a timeout.
Yeah, it's worrying because you kind of get in the mental of I just want to keep going, and that's not always what you need to do in games like this. You need to take that time to kind of to think about what you need to do, make any changes, especially now that we're at match point. It's very worrying from the side of Canaan's, and just keeping on playing the same game definitely isn't what they want to do.
Yeah, I think that the only thing that could save this Canaan's roster right now is if Mal subbed in for one of these players on Atmos.
Yeah, I think that's one of the only ways at this point.
But yeah, heading into this game for Canaan's, they need to give one last shot, one last push here in the upper bracket, or they will head down into that lower bracket. And talking about that lower bracket going on in these other series, it's 1-1 between Pulse and Ember right now, and it is 2-1 to Eclipse versus Frolls. So right now, if the series scores implement the winner of those series, it looks like Canaan's will be facing Eclipse in that matchup, but of course Frolls could turn that one around as a psycho coming out for Canaan's. Not an intentional one, but you do love to see it. Could have gone in and would have been absolute cinema if it did. But yeah, and then also in the other upper bracket matchup, Amarok currently 2-0 up against Shimali. So upper bracket looking pretty one-sided right now, but we got a couple very close series in that lower bracket.
Yeah, definitely. They're always the ones you want to keep an eye on as Inflict. Maybe changing things around for Canaan's, getting the first goal here in game number 4. And that's, I guess, a fake from Molino. It works in the end. Inflict getting the shot off. And 45 seconds gone, 1-0 to Cadence, and for the first time in this series, they are leading.
Yeah. Canaans, they need to hold this lead. They cannot let it slip. They want to keep going, try and build some momentum to start this reverse sweep attempt. Jaran gets blocked up by NextFox. Now it's just more Atmos pressure. Skips is up for it. Molino manages to get a touch though to intercept. Trying to get it to the backboard. Jaran will pop it over one. Inflict is there with the redirect, but nobody's home for Atmos. I didn't realize that the net was just completely open. Skips on the back line, stealing that boost, but nobody anywhere to be seen for Atmos. They've left their net wide open, and Canaans take full advantage.
Is this where we start to see the confidence, the overconfidence come through from the side of Atmos? Canaan's really throwing everything at it now. That's all they can do, and Atmos need to be aware of that. There's now Molino up, trying to play the ball back to Charon. Can't quite get there as Inflict may be pushing a little bit too far up. He goes for the bump. That might not be the right play. NextFox gets the shot, and he pulls one back for the side of Atmos as a slight misplay coming through from Canaans.
Yeah, and that's what you can't afford at this point on your last life here in the upper bracket. You cannot afford these mistakes. You got that 2-goal lead, but it's just been cut in half. And now, Canaans, they need to hold this. They've got so much time still on the clock to stay in this game. They want a couple more goals, but right now they need to do some defending, and they can't do it. They got that advantage, but all of a sudden, it is null and void. Atmos tie it up.
Yeah, NextFox getting the second of the game. Definitely kind of putting his team in the backpack to pull that that comeback back out of the side of Atmos. It's now very awkward in this corner. Molino only one back. NextFox going for the 45. Is going to maybe find the corner. Great pinch from Molino. Skips does have the boost to get back for this one though, but definitely a good sign at the moment. As now Molino trying to follow this one up. Does manage to get a 50. Skips up, and ball falls back to Inflict. Now here we go. We've seen an air dribble already. Reset, not quite able to get that one over Skips. As now Molino across towards the middle. Jaron is there, but can't quite get a touch. Now the whole side of Atmos pretty high on boost, able to put some pressure onto him. As now Sidix cross towards the middle, no one following it up. NextFox going for the challenge, doesn't quite get there. As now Jaron, not too much boost to work with. Ball across the middle. Molino's trying to follow it, decides to back out. Now Inflict's going for the cut. Jaron, low boost, is able to get a touch back across. Now Inflict back towards net. Jaron going for the double, almost gets it, but a good clearance from NextFox. As now Molino able to get a 50. Inflict side flip coming out, and again deciding not to go for that one. Maybe the right call. As now Jaron off the wall onto the ceiling, plays that one down towards Molino. Molino goes for the shot. Good save by Skips, and definitely slightly better from Canaans as another shot goes across, but can't quite find the target.
Can't get that one forward. 2-2 here. Canaan's putting up a little bit more of a fight here in this game 4, trying to get one on the board in this series, trying to stay in the upper bracket and fight for a place in that top 3. But Skips will get the shot. Molino forced into the save. Jaran can't take that one out. Molino's there. Big boom forward. Skips though keeping that in, keeping that pressure from Atmos that we've seen so much of throughout this series. NextFox into the middle. Cynics is there, just sends it over to the sidewall. Molino trying to send it right back. Canaans, they're not really controlling this ball, but Atmos this game, they're not doing it as much either. We've seen them throughout this series control that ball really nicely, but it's been a bit more few and far between for Atmos here in this game 4 as we tick down into that final minute before we potentially have our first overtime of the series.
Yeah, both teams starting to pile on this pressure as now NextFox over the top of Inflict. Does manage to pick up that mid boost, but Jaron's there to clear it away. Skip's not able to get on the end of this one. Cynic's covering up. So now Skip's 50. Ball's going to fall down to Inflict. Going to only as far as NextFox. Now Jaron full boost. Gets over the top of Skip. Cynic's very awkward, but onto the post. As now NextFox trying to bring this one forwards. Does manage to get a bit of a ground pinch across towards the Canaan's goal. So now Jared, now no boost to work with. Skips is going to get a shot off.
Oh,
Saved by Molino, and only as close as the crossbar from the follow-up. It's now Next Fox 50 with Inflict. Inflict no boost to work with. Ball across towards the middle. Next Fox round 1, round 2. And that might be the final nail in the coffin from Atmos. Third goal going in. You only need to win by 1. That's all that matters. And a great play from Next Fox to score his hat-trick.
we saw it in game number 1 with 2 seconds on the clock. Atmos, they steal the winning goal. We may have seen it again here. 5 seconds on the clock. That ball will go into the Canaan's net. It's 4-2. It didn't matter. They got one more for their own. Atmos, they start their journey here to the trophy with a quite beautiful sweep over Canaan's.
Yeah, just incredible showing from Atmos, playing really, really well, and Canaan's just weren't ready for it. And having a look at these stats, Next Fox coming through with 4 goals in that game, back-to-back hat-tricks in games 3 and 4 from Next Fox, and definitely stepping up after the start we saw from Skips.
Yeah, all 3 players on this Atmos roster playing so well, and you look at these stats, Chebs, and it's just a domination. 18 goals to 6, 46 shots to 30. Same amount of saves, but yeah, Atmos, they were probably the favorites on paper to take this series, and they definitely showed up on the day. Managed to take the sweep over Canaan's, and yeah, we'll see what Canaan's can do down in that lower bracket for the rest of the day. But your series MVP, it could have really been any of those players on that Atmos roster. It does go to Skips, very well deserved. Well done to him, and a well done to DeathCloud Atmos.
Yeah, incredible performance from Skips, really putting on that pressure in games 1 and 2, and that's really where we saw Skips thrive before Next Fox got his shooting boots on in games 3 and 4 to close out that series. But incredible showing from Atmos, and Canaan's need to have a quick look at what they were doing wrong and get that ready for those lower bracket games.
Yeah, and they will be facing Eclipse in that lower bracket, who took down Thralls in a 3-1 series. Amarok 3-0 up against Chamali as well, and Pulse versus Ember in game 5 at the moment. So yeah, some very good series around, and that one, whilst it was not a very close series, it was still a great showing from Atmos, and very encouraging signs for them for the rest of their day as they hunt for that trophy. But that is all from us for now for this first series in the Challenger playoffs. We will be back after a very short break to bring you the next series down to the lower bracket of this playoffs bracket. So make sure you don't go anywhere, because we'll be right back.
Tape my eyes open to force reality. Why can't you just let me eat my weight in glee? I live inside my own world of make-believe. Kids screaming in their cradles, profanities. Some days I feel skinnier than all the other days. Sometimes I can't tell if my body belongs to me. I love everything. Fire spreading all around my room. My world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush. Content, hold your breath and feel the tension. Devils hide behind redemption. Honesty is a one-way gate to hell. I wanna taste consumption. Breathe faster to waste oxygen. Hear the children sing aloud. It's music till the wick burns out. Be carefree lately, yeah. Just picking up daisies. Got one too many quarters in my pockets. Counting like the four-leaf clovers in my locket. Untied laces, yeah. Just tripping on daydreams. Got dirty little lullabies playing on repeat. Might as well just ride around the nursery and cash.
I got a bottle of Patron and some lights off. Two red devil looking eyeballs. And I finna turn up when the night falls. If you hear a siren, then it's my fault. Jump in my whip, baby, let's ride. We ain't gonna stop at a red light. And I'ma take shots like a Tech 9. It's gonna get live. Here we go, it's about to go down.
calm before the storm. Things aren't as they were before. You best start bracing.
This is trophi.ai, an AI Rocket League coach, and it's absolutely crazy what you can do with this. If you've ever heard of ballchasing.com, it's a lot like that, but on steroids.
You can press P and a pro demo will come up, and this is what's so cool and so unique about Trophi, is that this is not seen anywhere else, and it's just a great way to kind of show you how to do a training pack without having to side by side watch a YouTube video.
And this is actually really cool. Training paths. So you basically, you know the skill trees from Assassin's Creed, Spider-Man, Sekiro, you know that sort of games where you have to, get skill points, use them, you unlock new skills. This is sort of very similar, but instead of actually getting skill points, you're actually doing the mechs. And also a cool feature as well, guys, watch this. You can slow it down. You can actually slow-mo it like this. So if you're really struggling, what you need to do, you can actually look for yourself and just have a look at the exact sort of movements that you're doing there. Look, it's really cool. I really like it. And
alongside helping with mechanics, it also has a feature that analyzes any of your saved replays. That way you can see what you're doing well and what you need to improve on. It even has this cool post-game analysis that you can see stats from the game you just played.
This isn't just merch. It's what teams wear when they mean business. Every stitch, every print, every detail, made to perform. Trusted by the grind, from grassroots to championship halls. Build your team store. Wear the brand that wins. SpartanWare, trusted by the grind.
Back to the B stream, ladies and gentlemen. It is the second series of the day where Kamali have just been swept out of the upper bracket and find themselves against Pulse, who have just faced a Game 5 thriller against Ember. One team came out victorious to start the day, one came out defeat. Will Kamali find themselves going 0-2 on the day, or will Pulse find themselves knocked out going 1-1? I'm Kingsman, and joining me for this cast is Chebs. So Chebs, how are we feeling about this series?
It's going to be a fun one. One team looking really good in their play-ins game, in that upper bracket play-ins game. But then getting swept out in that first game really will take a knock on your confidence. But coming into this one, Pulse just coming up off the back of a thriller, so they're going to be feeling ready. They're going to be pumped up from that one. So it's going to be a close game, I think.
Yeah, it's going to be a very close series. I think both of these teams were in the playoffs originally. Pulse had a Game 7 against Canaans where they got sent down to the lower bracket and they had to face, as I mentioned, Ember for the start of the game. And whereas Kamali, they swept Eclipse and now find themselves in the same position as those who lost by players. But we know it all matters on the day. But we're going to get into things very, very quickly here. We're going to make sure the players are ready to enter the field of play and get ourselves underway here in this first series. It's going to be Nexus Esports taking on Azteca. Nexus come into it with the pressure, and Kamali are looking to bounce back from that start. Which one is going to get the better of the other? Well, time will only tell as we get the players onto the field here in game number one. A few famous faces you will recognize from previous RSC seasons find themselves in the lower bracket, but can they push forward? Game number one here is underway.
Already a quick demo coming up off the start, and both these teams definitely looking strong. Kamali not looking the greatest in that first game, but we've seen through their previous games that they can be a strong roster. So it's whether they bring that into this game, and we're keeping it pretty chill. We saw in pretty much every single game in that the first games on stream a quick goal going in game number 1, but we're keeping it pretty nice and even as we take over the 30-second mark, as now Compact trying to get that one across to the middle and cut out yet again. But yeah, Kingsman, obviously we kind of skipped through quite quickly at the start of that one. A little bit of delay on the start of the stream, and an incredible shot from Crimson. I thought we were settling into this one nicely. We were going to have a little chat, but Crimson said, I don't like any more waffle. Let's clip on this Kamali team, shoot them while they're already down, and a great shot from Crimson. There we go. Almost a kick.
Kamali, take a bow. Crimson has entered the field with a vengeance. What a goal to start off this Challenger Series. We're not even in the upper half, and players are already pulling out mechanics like that. It is breathtaking, and what a way to start the series. Chebs with a bit of a curse on the opening quick goals, and Crimson, wow, what a goal to start us off here. But Kamali, they are going to look for a quick response. George goes flying in, and Compact gets that clear away. 50-50 in the midfield. Mars, though, is demoed away. George dives in. Luke Foss to the backboard. There's pressure building here for Pulse for a double. It's off the bar from Compact. Crimson to follow it up. Gets the reset. Pass one. This pressure for Pulse is just paramount, but that is going to get cleared away. Sent back now by Compact. The second goal looks likely. Shot underneath. Great save from Mistrack.
Yeah, already piling on this pressure are Pulse, and definitely a little bit worrying from the side of Kamali to start this one off already on the back foot. This Compact's going to pick this one up in the corner. Bit of a dodgy touch across from Mistrack. George going to follow it up, and a good save from Luke Foss. As now Mistrack trying to keep the pressure, but no, ball's going to fall to Crimson, who takes it up onto the wall. Still has the boost to follow it, but George is able to cut that one out. George trying to get this one across. Good 50 from Compact. There's now Mars going to try and drop this one down again. Luke Foss keeping it pushed forwards. Quick shot from Compact, only as close as the post. Crimson's going to follow it up. Tries to get one, goes for the dunk, doesn't quite get there. Gets a 50 in the end. It's now Mars sends this one into the corner. Compact going to follow it up off the backboard. Going for a pinch, only as close as a 50 with Mistrack. As now Luke Foss pops that one high. Compact trying to get one, but a good cut from Mars is able to get a touch onto that one. And now Crimson, a little bit of boost to work with. Goes up high, gets over the top of George. Not able to get a reset, can't quite get round it. Not a great save, but an even worse shot from Luke Foss. Not able to capitalise on a pretty open net.
I think Chebs would have done better with that open net, as that goes absolutely dying. What a chance to put them 2-0, but it doesn't matter. Compact found in the midfield. It is going to be 2-0. Great clearance, and George just gets dunked the hell out of, and Compact says thank you very much. An open net waits, and he's not going to do as badly as Luke did. And it's 2-0, a very deserved 2-0 for Kamali's side that just have not been in this game at all, Chebs.
No, not even anything dangerous coming up from the side. George the only one with shots so far, but Mistrack is able to get one on the board. Now Compact trying to go for that 50 with Mars. Doesn't manage to get one. Not a great touch from George, but Luke Foss not able to get too much on it. 50 from Compact across towards the middle. Crimson waiting patiently. Doesn't manage to get quickly onto that one. A little side flip as now Compact low boost. Not able to get it round George. Luke Foss trying to follow this one. Mistrack again. No boost from the side of the defending team. It's now Crimson waits a little bit too long on that one. Mars is able to get something on it. Shot from Compact. Mistrack's there. Luke Foss going to follow this one up. Only as far as a pass back to Crimson. Going to send it up towards the ceiling. Crimson trying to get another. Doesn't manage to get that. It's now Compact back across to Luke. And this is some nice... They're not quite getting the touches they want, but they're able to recover and get these passes back to their teammates as it's keeping the pressure on nicely.
Yeah, it's very good for them. And now it's Mistrack looking to take Azteca forward. They need something in this game number one. They're coming down from the best of 7 format to the best of 5 format. And the best of 5 is more punishing. Obviously, less games, less time you can have to warm up. And as much as they might take that for this game or to recover from that absolute slapping in the uppers, they need to realize that they've got to get a move on here, or they could very, very quickly be staring down the barrel of an 0-7 day, as that Mars and George just getting tangled up in the back line, as George is going to take it forward now, looking for any sort of hope. Doesn't get it. All he gets is a demo for his troubles, as Luke will push forward. Mistrack in the air. No one as good as Crimson in the air so far, as now Luke collects. And here we go. Consolation goal as it might be. Mars does find the back of the net, stops the bleeding, and it is going to be Mars who puts Kamali to the game. It's not over yet, but with the way Pulse have been dominating, they would hate to lose this game one.
Yeah, and we've got to see how Kamali react off this kickoff. They've got to get something quickly. They do manage to win that one, but it's going to end up in the hands of Crimson. That's not who you want it to end up with after the game he's had so far. It's only going to hit the floor very, very quickly, but hopefully that goal at the end of that game will give them some momentum going forwards. And yeah, not great showing from Kamali in that first game. 6 shots on the board compared to the 9 from the side of Pulse, and it really showed getting outshot very consistently in that game.
Yeah, well, I thought Pulse would be the team to start strong, but I didn't think they'd start that strong. The overpowering force they had in that first game was incredible compared to Kamali, who just sort of, they woke up into it maybe the last minute and a half. But at that point, though, Pulse had already locked down the first game. And, well, as you said, that consolation goal might give them something to go after, might give them some sort of hope that they can play Rocket League, they can compete. I mean, they made top 3 for a reason. They're a very good team over this format, and, well, they've got to show it now. Obviously, best of 4 format all season, and I think this would be the first time they've faced a best of 5, so they need to pick up the 3 games that they need to push forward. But who will come out shooting first? I reckon it'll be Pulse that come out. I would have given this series to Pulse in a 3-2 anyway, but I did not expect Kamali to bend over as easily as they did in that first game, and whether they can push on again. I don't know what you were thinking of this series beforehand, Chebs.
Kamali was on the other stream, so I didn't see it. I was casting here on the B stream. But yeah, just getting swept anyway is pretty rough. Even if you do manage to have a good game, just not able to take a game in that series is always going to be rough. But from what I saw, the couple clips that I saw while I was checking the scoreline, Panda himself seemed to be very, very prolific in front of goal, and I think that's really playing on the minds of this Kamali team. There's now Crimson trying to pick up where he left off. Ball across the middle. George is there to meet it, though. There's now no boost to work with. Compact's going to be able to pick this one up. Is going to be able to get one round Mars, and they open it up quicker than last time as Compact scoring the first of this game. George very, very awkward to get anything on it, and Mars left in a little bit of no man's land as Compact can do anything with that, and he slots it straight down the middle to take the lead.
Well, they're starting off where they left. Game number 1 is Pulse again with the early goal, that early advantage. And that will just play into the minds of Kamali slightly as Crimson goes up now. He's going to beat Mistrack. Double on, double not found, and counter-attack is on. George needs to get this quickly, not quick enough, and then he's finds himself going out. Now Crimson brings this forward. Can he get another touch? No 50 found. Compact shot is going to be straight to Mistrack, though, who's not going to have a problem getting a save there, as Mistrack does collect this now. Good 50, my computer is deciding to have a breakdown, but we're back now. As now great bump from Compact, who were picked up by Luke, who looks for a sidewall read, but he isn't Crimson.
No, not quite. And we see the tactical name change from Luke Voss as well, shortening the name, and apparently that has some effects in the higher echelons of Rocket League. If you make the name shorter, you become better. Clearly, I need to drop the big on my name to become a little bit stronger. in my Rocket League skill. But now George trying to bring this one forward is only going to find Luke on that wall. As now Mistrack is going to boom that one away. Crimson had already committed to a flick, not quite able to follow up as quickly as possible. As now George bangs that one long. Mars is going to be able to pick this one up. Goes around Compact, but Luke Frost covering very, very well. This is now going to send this one up high. Mistrack pitch off the ceiling. That's going to drop all of the way. And a great play from the side of Kamali to tie this one up very quickly up to challenge Luke. And it works out nicely with a pitch straight into the goal.
Yeah, name change maybe not working. Maybe he should just go down to a dot instead, as Luke gets dunked out of his mind for a Kamali equaliser. The first time since 0-0 they've been equal in either of these games, and it's a great ball for them. But Mars now looking to build on this momentum. George gets in middle, it's past the defenders, Pulse in shambles at the back, and Kamali, well, Mars gets it up to George. George drops it down, all the team involved, and Kamali showing their true colours.
Yeah, really good sign from Kamali, able to fight back in this series, taking the lead here in game number 2. As now Crimson trying to go up high, manages to get it over the top of Mistrack, but no boost means no follow. As now Compact does have the boost to follow, but doesn't quite have the momentum as Mars beats him out. As now Crimson bangs that one forward. Luke Foss is going to be the one to follow it. Does manage to get one touch, able to get any more? No, Mars is there. Crimson now cross towards the middle. All three players from the side of Pulse pretty high up, but it almost didn't matter as Crimson able to get a shot off, saved well in the end. And now here we go, Compact trying to bring it forwards. Goes for the reset, gets the reset, isn't going to be able to do too much with it, uses it for the wave dash, and now Luke Foss is going to pick this one up in that back corner, and Pulse really kind of just letting off the gas a little bit in the second game.
Yeah, they are, and I don't know why, but as Compact looks to take this forward, finds a bump onto George. Mars as well, good 50 from him. No one there to collect though, and Mistrack gets a free clear. Can he find George upfield? Oh, George just moments away from getting a pass into the middle, as Mars will bring this forward. Crimson should have an easy enough clear, but it's going to be met by George. Now, Compact pinches this forward. It's going to be Mistrack taking it up. Another bump from Pulse as Luke looks for the reset, gets it, but doesn't find ball contact as Mistrack 50s, two of them. Compact doesn't decide to dive as last man. Right decision, but missing the ball. Maybe not. Another demo comes out for this side of Pulse. I knew with Luke on it, there would be lots of demos, but I didn't think his whole team would utilize it as this ball goes middle, but no one there as Mars collects, gets a 50 with Luke, and Compact passes it back to reset for Pulse, but it's going to be cleared off by George. No momentum being allowed to build for this Pulse side. Great 50 again as Crimson. Can he get a pinch here? He loves these mechanics, but it's going to be a pass to Mars instead. But Mars passes it back. Mistrack needs a touch, doesn't get it. And it's a huge mistake from Mistrack in the back. Mars lays it off for Crimson. We know what he can do in front of goal. And Mistrack won't find the clear. And it's an equaliser for Pulse.
A lifeline thrown to Pulse in this game as Kamali seem to finally find their way. But ball falling quite easily for Crimson is always going to be capitalised upon. As now Kamali need to fight their way back in to stand a chance. They don't want to drop to match point this quickly, as Compact's going to pick this one up. No boost in the tank. Mars going to send it up high. Isn't going to be able to connect on it, but fakes it out for George. But a 50 from Crimson. Now it's going to be a little bit awkward for Mistrack. That one's going to bounce up high, but he's got the boost to stay with it. And a double demo, one for each side. As Crimson miss in the corner, Mistrack not able to get it across. Demo coming through though. This is still going to be a little bit awkward. Smar's going to pick it up, only as far as Crimson. Crimson shot, Mistrack can't get there! And Pulse score the third of the game, clinching it with only 3 seconds left. And again, just awkward touches coming through from Kamali, no one able to follow up on them. And Crimson's always going to capitalise on those.
Mars again just lays it off. It's such a big mistake, giving any of these players a chance to put it in. And Mars will absolutely be kicking himself because he has given Pulse a lifeline in this second game as well. I think Kamali were the better team this game, but see no rewards, and instead find themselves on the cusp of an 0-7, 0-2 playoff Saturday. And, well, that would be a devastation for this team that at times have put together some brilliant plays, some brilliant pressure. But at the end of the day, stats don't matter. It's results on the pitch that do.
Yeah, and it's always kind of worrying for Kamali. They had such a good day on, I can't remember, Tuesday or Wednesday, and
Some point.
so one of the play-ins days. They had a really good game, sweeping out in that upper bracket, but they just don't look like that same roster today. Not enough pressure and just too many mistakes coming out from this team. But Pulse, Crimson, especially Crimson, will always make the most of those mistakes, and we've seen it so far. And going into this third game, Kamali really have to tighten up that defense and stop making these mistakes, and maybe they find their way back into it.
Yeah, and that is what you want to see at the end of the day. You don't want to see these teams going out 0-7, especially when 5 weeks of league play led them to this moment. And, well, how will we see the team start off? Well, we almost see a Luke goal, I think, which would have been his first goal of the entire series. But instead is a save away by Mistrack, who hopefully has found his team some morale as he's been the one finding the moments upfield. As George not going to beat Crimson in the air. Many players in the Challenger tier I don't think will, as Crimson now collects it over Mistrack, gets it over one, looks for Luke, and it's a 50 between two Kamali players. Compact looks for a bump, George doesn't find the ball, and it's already mischief in this game. Crimson misses, and Compact saves away.
Yeah, definitely the comms coming through for that one. Crimson coming that one early because Compact was up straight away to make sure that one wasn't heading into the goal. And now Crimson, no boost to be able to follow this one. That one's going to be popped over by George, but a little bit of a preemptive jump to try and centre that one. Not able to connect as Luke sends this one long. Is going to register as a shot, saved by Mars. As now Crimson sends it back up, and we're playing a little bit of ping pong as we head into past the first minute of the game. As now Mistrack, the one to be making these moves for Azteca, going to send it across to Mars. Mars up onto the backboard. George going to be following it up. Shot down. Crimson awkward. And that one's going to bounce in. And Kamali score the first goal in this game. And maybe they've started to switch on.
Yeah, great pre-jump. Great shot by George. And it's bounced perfectly into that top corner. And Kamali find their first opening goal of the series, but there's still 3.5 minutes to play, and when Crimson's in the air, only danger awaits. He's bumped away for now, and I don't quite know how Luke has missed that badly, but it's gone well away from the goal. I was ready to commentate for a goal there, but Luke not able to find it, maybe allergic to the goal in this series, as now he finds a great challenge, and Mars is last back, good clear away, as eventually Kamali get this clear, but it's back in the mixer with Crimson, but that shot is saved away by Mistrack as Luke 50-50 over the teams. Both will reset now. Mars on the pre-jump here. Great 50. Can George find a shot? No, he can't. Mars on the follow can't either. Shots galore. Accuracy, none. As now Mars looks to take this away as Luke, great 50-50, and Luke is going to get this now to Compact as Mistrack 50-50s there, as Crimson, again, the biggest threat of this game, over one, as George collects that, and now he's going to go forward with this early shot. Has it caught Luke off guard? Yes, it has, as George slots home his second, and the first 2-goal lead for Kamali as they go on the strikes of a reverse sweep.
Yeah, sorry for throwing you in the deep end there, Kingsman.
That's all right.
Had a little sip of the drink, forgot to unmute, but here we are. We keep it going. I was casted away and you cut me off, and I was like, oh, I'm on mute, aren't I? There we go. Anyway, second goal going in for the side of Kamali, and definitely looking more switched on than Pulse in this one. Maybe the overconfidence is getting to him. As now Crimson trying to bring this one forward, gets a really good 50. Mars is going to have to connect with that one to keep it away from Compact. Does so, and this time catching them off guard, but the shot not quite on target, as now Mistrack is able to find the shot, and that's 3 on the bounce for Kamali after really not being able to find their shooting boots in this series. But finally the floodgates are open, and Mistrack with an absolute banger into the middle of the goal.
Yeah, they found their shooting boots finally. This has felt like it's been coming for those 2 games, but it's taken so long that we're on match point, and hopefully they don't use all their goals in this game number 3. As George, a great 50 again. Can Mistrack drop it down? Not as much as he'd have wanted, as Mars does get an unfortunate touch away. Does get a few bumps though. It'll slow down the attack, and now it's going to be George up, beats Luke. What doesn't want the corner read, knows that he doesn't have the boost for it, and Mistrack wildly misses the net again. But now Pulse have to build themselves up, something I didn't think I'd be saying at the start of this series. As Crimson, ball middle, shot away from Compact. Hold on, this game is far from over. Crimson, the magician, again on the plays, gets the touchdown, gets it middle. Compact slots it home, and with this Pulse side at the minute, never say never.
A great goal from them, and still a little bit of a mountain to climb to get back into this one, but a minute on the clock, anything can happen, as Crimson's going to pick this one up in the corner. Doesn't quite manage to get a touch, but that does fake out Mars, but Luke can't get there in time, and now Compact a little bit awkward on this front post, but does manage to get it over the attacker. This one's going to be sent long. Mars down to George, George onto the backboard. Mars going to follow it up. Can he find the shot? Not quite. George is there though. Does manage to get it back across, and Mars can follow it up. And yet again, Kamali getting their 4th of this game, still have their shooting boots on despite that little mishap in defense, and 3 goals still separate them with a minute to go.
Yeah, this Pulse defense at the minute is just like a piece of paper, just absolutely being fired through, because they have just been absolutely collapsed this game by Kamali, and they look to come again, but Crimson, as that last man, won't be beaten. Mars sends it downfield. Luke, though, will collect, and George then finds the demo there. Is there anyone to follow up? It's George again. Double commits coming out from Pulse. They can't lose their heads here, as this is going to be 5 from Mars. Kamali really laying down a statement. No timeout needed, and they are absolutely giving it to Pulse now. And what could have happened if they had gone into overtime that last game and Kamali had taken it? We'd be looking at a different story. But as it is, Kamali looking to start looking to end game 3 how they should have started game 1.
Yeah, and definitely looking like the stronger team in this game. But Pulse have that triple match point to keep an eye on. As now George trying to keep it in possession, just waste these last 10 seconds. They really don't want to give any momentum back to Pulse. It's now Compact in the corner, plays that one back. Luke gonna pop it across to the middle. Mistrack gets one, is going to be followed up by Luke. That one's going to hit the floor, and we're going to game number 4 as a timeout is called instantaneously for the side of Pulse.
That is interesting. I didn't think Pulse would call a timeout. I think they've been the better team for the first 2 games. And they've seen one game go wrong, and maybe it's a bit of oopsie daisy. They've realised a lot's gone wrong. They haven't had many answers for Kamali this game, and they need just some time to talk about it, analyse what went wrong, and move forward again. But yeah, Kamali this game, absolutely lethal. 10 shots, 5 goals, and the back line was absolutely impenetrable at times. A great performance from them. Pulse just not being able to find their feet. And well, hopefully this timeout is going to give them some ideas of how they can break down this Kamali roster.
Yeah, we have seen Luke leave the game, so maybe a card change. He might be changing his name back after the performance that we've seen in games 2 and 3. The name buff maybe not working out for him. But yeah, going into this game, using that timeout, they're going to be rethinking what went wrong in that game, looking at kind of the mistakes they made, and there was quite a few of them. A few double commits coming through from the side of Pulse, and that's really what let Kamali get back into this series. But Kamali definitely looking like a different team from what we saw in game number 1, and even in game number 2 they found their shooting boots and put in 5.
Yeah, they did put in 5. And since we missed it at the start, we can have a look at the playoff bracket and how it looks now whilst we're in this timeout. And well, as we mentioned at the start, Atmos and Amarok were on fire, getting 2 sweeps in the upper bracket to start the day off. Pulse did come through a game 5, although they're making it look a bit more nervy here as Kamali have started a bit of a comeback. Eclipse as well got past Thralls and are currently on track to send Kanan's 0-2 on the day. Kamali do not want to be 0-2 on the day. They've shown they're a great team, and same with Kanan's. The winner of this match will face either Eclipse or Kanan's, with then the lower final being either Atmos or Amarok. And if they're really feeling brave and want to go all the way, well, they've got to do 2 best-of-7s against the winner of the upper final. So a long day awaits whoever is going to meet in that grand final. But for now, they will want to focus on what is here and what is ahead of them. And, well, at the minute, Jebs, do you know what I see for your prediction? I see, I don't know. So, you wanna finalize a prediction for us live right now while it's 2-1 to Pulse?
2 match points is a lot to keep that momentum, keep that morale up going forwards. And I don't think Kamali will be able to survive both games, but I think they will take one more. And I think Pulse will pull it back in game number 5. I think 3-2 to the side of Pulse, I think, is where this will end up. But we will see as we head into game number 4, as the players back in the lobby ready to hit the pitch. Everybody ready to go. And yeah, I think it's really how that timeout has affected Pulse, whether they're able to pull back what we saw in game number 1 and 2, if they have an answer for this Kamali side, or whether Kamali are able to keep those shooting boots on and keep pushing this Pulse side back.
Yeah, all a matter of time in the end, as Crimson's going to take this up now. The first goal has been pivotal. All the teams that have scored the first goal have gone on to win the respective games. So a potential here as Compact looks to find the net early, but Mars won't be too challenged by that. Great 50 from Crimson. There's no one middle at the minute but Luke, who I thought when he left the game might have been getting subbed out, but not so. He remains on the pitch and a threat inevitably, and a great goal line save from him will keep this at 0-0. Crimson now collects, beats one. Simple shot for Mars to save though as Compact. Good 50-50 will be met by Mistrack, who sends his downfield. Luke gets a bit of a read. Shot for Mars, saved away by Crimson, and a minute gone here in game number 4. And well, it looks to be any team's game.
Yeah, but this one might be a little bit more dangerous, but a great save from Luke to keep that one out. As now George keeping up this pressure, all across the middle. Mars shot, not quite close enough. Tries to get another, but Crimson is there. Mistrack going to pop that one back across to George. Gets demoed on his way out, as now Luke is going to pick this one up in the corner. No boost to work with, doesn't matter, gets past one, but Mistrack is there. Compact up off the wall, is going to send that one down. Crimson a little bit in no man's land right now as the ball goes across. Good save in the end. As now Mistrack back into that corner, and the pressure's really mounting from Kamali. They need to make no mistakes in these rotations though, because the counter-attack can do quite a lot. Here comes Compact, as he's going to go for the flick, gets it, but a good save from Mars. Keeps it away. Luke's going to slow this one down, let his teammates recover, as now Compact across to Crimson, as he's going to pick up this corner. Tries to get the pinch, doesn't quite get what he wants, as now Luke has the boost deficit, going to be trying to challenge George. Ball goes under, Compact's not able to get there. Neva's Crimson, and Mistrack gets that first goal. Only 2 minutes into this game, and first goal to the side of Kamali. And as the stats have shown so far, the first goal is an important one.
Yeah, you felt the goal was coming, didn't you? Kamali had all the pressure. See George rubber the hands there. He's excited for what's to come, and he knows, I think, how crucial the first goal is, how crucial that swing of momentum after the timeout will be. And Pulse absolutely collapsing. The floodgates are reopening here in game number 4. Luke misses it. Crimson off the front post, and it's a goal for Kamali to make it 2-0. And this job is getting even more difficult. Pulse will not have their timeout now. to use for game number 5. So this reverse sweep at the moment looks very, very good. Looks very good for Kamali.
Yeah, they've woken up in this series, but that's going to be a fake in the end. I think Compact gets a touch on it, and the ball goes in. Crimson pops this one up high. Does Compact do anything to this? Not really. But he gets the goal to his name. Ball goes in. Looks more like a fake, but he does manage to get that touch to secure the goal for himself, as it reduces the deficit. Still half the game to go here. As the kickoff a little bit awkward. Compact's able to pick it up, gets it over George. Doesn't manage to recover well. Doesn't manage to get another touch. Luke's going to follow it up. Double commit on the backboard, but Mars able to follow it up. Crimson not able to get a shot off, and that's an absolute screamer from George off the crossbar, and it bounces all the way in, regaining that 2-goal lead, and a clinical shot from George to find the gap over the top of Compact and slot it into that goal.
Yeah, I've been flaming the defensive pulse here, but nothing anyone could have done about that. George, an absolute clanger, and Luke's found his first goal of the series, ladies and gentlemen. And how else but a kickoff goal? And it's a great 50 off of George. George a bit slower than Luke here, and instantly Pulse fire back. A 2-goal deficit again reduced to 1. They'd love to see that reduced from 1 to 0. Now, and another great kickoff from Luke. I don't think Compact's been quick enough. Ball middle, and Mars has missed it. And 2 kickoffs later, 10 seconds later, they see a 3-1 lead absolutely negated. It's 3-3. We're all tied up on Utopia Coliseum.
It's always a rough way to tie up a game. Is 2 kickoff goals is really going to be playing on your mentals, and this one also looking quite dangerous. Crimson not quite able to get the shot off, as now Compact's going to try and follow this one up. Ball across to the middle, up high. Luke's going to get there. Great shot from Luke, and Luke's floodgates are open. It's taken him 4 games to score a goal, and in doing so, scores a peach of a second goal.
Brilliant shot. The defense of Kamali nowhere to be seen. And 30 seconds ago, I was saying the reverse sweep looked so on for Kamali here, as they found themselves 3-1 up. 3 goals, and 30 seconds later, Pulse are back in control with their hands on this series. But we know that anything can happen. But momentum surely with Pulse, as Luke sends this downfield. Is the hat trick for him? No, it's not, as Mars saves us away, gets it over Compact. He's going to go alone here. Great bump as well. Any teammate for Mars, none found, as Crimson sends this forward. There's going to be no one to receive it apart from Compact, who cannot get it past George. Does find a demo onto Mistrack though. Oh, Luke's shooting boots are so on that he's finding the wrong net even. But that is cleared away.
Yeah, definitely a worrying sight, but able to be saved quite easily by Compact in the end. Compact playing this one across to the middle. Crimson knows cannot challenge that one, but is going to be sent long. Ball across. Luke able to make a good save to keep it away from the attacker, as he's now going to try and get one past Mistrack. Can't quite. Compact shot on target. Luke not able to get anything on the player or the ball to send that one in. As now George, very, very awkward 0 boost. Mistrack almost getting on the end of that one. Never the way you want to be sending it, but Mars across to the wall. George not able to connect with it. Mistracked, not too much boost, is going to send it across in the end. Compact now, good touch. Mars is going to follow it up, gets a ball down. Luke's there, a little bit of an overcommit from the side of Kamali, but able just about as we tick into these last 30 seconds. Pulse trying to finish out this series. A demo is going to be a way to do it. Mars shot across, great save from Crimson. 15 seconds to go. George, no boost, able to get there. Mistrack shot, but Luke again finding his way, taking the MVP in this last game as it stands. And a great bump coming through. Mistrack able to tie this game up. 3 seconds to go. And as it stands, looking like we're going to overtime after an absolutely ridiculous play in the box. All 3 players from Kamali throwing everything at that one to tie this game up.
They threw the house at it, and the house collapsed as Kamali keep their RSC-17 challenger hopes alive with a brilliant team goal. And well, that is do or die, ladies and gentlemen, in the Challenger tier. But can Crimson neutralize any hope? No, he can't. Compact's going to leave this for Luke. Luke, though, is on his own. Was that a poor decision? No. Luke will find the clear away. Mistrack. He scored the equalizer. He can't find it again as Mars sends that forward. Compact meets it. George can't let this go in. Doesn't off the line. Double commit from Pulse. Pulse, they do have that extra game in hand, but they can't let this go away. With 4 seconds to go, they were taking the series, but now they find themselves with an Azteca roster who want everything, and that's just off of the bar from Mars. It looked everything cosmic about that, but the back of the net not found for them as Mars again off the post, and Pulse just want this cleared.
Yeah, pressure really mounting from Kamali. Clearance from Luke is going to find Crimson. Crimson trying to send this one long, doesn't connect. 50 from Compact, able to keep possession. But George is up, 50 again. Ball's going to fall to Mistrack. Compact commits, leaves Crimson on his own, but is able to get on the end of it. And this pressure still mounting George. Cross to Mars. Mars not quite able to find the target. Mistrack committing. Compact just about able to get on the end of it. And some really good opportunities for Kamali, but Pulse defense just about standing strong, as that one's going to be cleared by Crimson. Mistrack across to the wall, trying to go for a shot. All of the players from Pulse in the same corner, and Kamali find the overtime goal to send us to Game 5.
Emotion at the back for Pulse, and after all his efforts, Luke Foss will find himself in his second Game 5 of the day. Kamali threw everything into this Game 4 with 4 seconds left. They found themselves a goal down, and with 0 seconds to play, they find themselves heading to Champions Field for game number 5. I mean, what a team performance that is from Kamali to pull themselves out of it. But Pulse have just watched that game slip out of their hands. That must be devastating.
Yeah, especially after calling that timeout between games. You'd expect them to bounce back from that game at number 3 into game number 4, and in some ways they did, but Kamali just kept piling that pressure on. So much pressure in that overtime that eventually you knew something would pop, and eventually it did. And Kamali scoring that overtime goal, taking us into game number 5, and really momentum all on their side. But Pulse still show that they've got something in this series. This game 5 is really going to be one to watch.
It is. It's going to be a thriller, so you better not miss it. Kamali find themselves one game away from completing a reverse sweep to keep their chances of this RSC 17 Challenger Championship alive, whereas Pulse have been in a Game 5 already today and want to stop themselves going out to a reverse sweep. It's Pulse versus Kamali. One game, one team will make it through, and it's gonna be just wide from Kamali to open it up. George not able to find it off kickoff. We know how instrumental this first goal is. The team have scored first have won every game so far, and it's end to end already. Crimson and Luke linking up, but will not find a goal yet. Now, can anyone pick this up in the corner? Crimson, poor clear here. It's going to be read by Mars. No, it's not actually. Left for Mistrack, as Mistrack shot. Not really a shot, but it's going to be cleared away. Luke, not the touch he'd have wanted, and Crimson sends this long downfield just wide of the net, and 40 seconds in, both teams really giving us a taste of what this Game 5 could bring.
Yes, but that is going to be a shoddy clearance, and George is going to follow it up straight away. Compact cross to Crimson, maybe should have just left it to go into the corner, as George quickly up for it, scores the first goal in this game, and definitely the way they wanted to start this, as this reverse sweep is underway. As now Crimson gets the reset, is going to try and get one more, doesn't manage to, fakes it out though. Compact not able to get that one on target, as Mistrack now in the corner tries to get it over both, does manage to do so, but neither of his teammates are able to follow up. Now George is able to get the 50 onto Crimson, as Luke just about beating out Mars, and now Crimson Mistrack. Crimson can't connect, and George is going to be there to clear that one away. Minute 15 down, and Kamali looking very, very strong despite having the shot disadvantage. Compact shot towards goal. That one's going to be bouncing. Can Crimson find it? Yes! He ties up this game as we hit the 3-3-3 mark.
Yeah, Compact did so well. A demo and a bump on the goal line. You thought that has to find the back of the net. And it's the golden boy, Crimson, who will find it for Pulse. Brilliant play, all from Compact. But it'll be Crimson to put it away. And, well, we're back tied in this game as Crimson looks to take them forward again. Luke, 50's into the middle. Compact has a bit of time here. Past one. Can he get it past a second? No, it'll be Mars to collect. Crimson again, 50's it as George. Oh, great bump on the back line from Mars. And it's George again for Kamali. He's been Kamali's shining light as George. But it's a brilliant shot from an interesting angle. And the equaliser, as found 20 seconds ago, has been neutralised again.
Yes, incredible play from Kamali. As again, Pulse have to find an answer to stop this reverse sweep happening. There's another demo from George. Mars going to pinch this one up. Mistrack is able to connect with it as he's going to stay on as he pops it past Luke. George, low-ish boost, managed to get that one on target. Squishy save coming through from Compact as Mars going to pinch this one back down towards the Pulse half. As a miss comes out, 50 from Luke onto Mars. There's now Compact trying to get this one across to the middle. Luke not able to do too much to help as that ball is going to end up with George. No, Compact back across towards the middle. Mars, not a lot of boost to work with. Luke getting bumped. And now this might be where Mars can get this cleared away. Has some boost to work with as he gets it past one, past two. Is going to follow it down to the corner. Demos Luke, sends it across, but George not quite able to follow it up. And Compact returning the demo to the Kamali side. As now Mars, ball goes down. Mistrack trying to follow it up. Good 50 from Compact. And now can Pulse find their way back into this one? George sends it up, demoed by Compact. Crimson can't connect with it. Mistrack's going to send that one straight back towards the Pulse goal. And Luke, good save in the end. And Pulse not able really to get the touches they want to be able to find their way towards this net.
No, George now beats Luke, and it's a hat-trick for George. He's the hat-trick hero for Kamali in this game 5. Brilliant control, and what a touch over Luke. A thing of magic from George, and he extends the lead to 2. But we've seen this in game number 4. 3-1 up, and they went to concede 3 in a row to find themselves behind in the game. They would sincerely like that not to happen again. Ball to the backboard though. Mars will collect. Great 50 away for him. Compact will collect. Pinches it forward as well. And now what can they do? Mistrack drops this down. Luke gets in middle. Crimson's up. And Crimson drops it. It's a brilliant angle from Crimson. This game isn't over yet. And Crimson picks up his second. Ball middle from Luke. And a great drop down past all 3 defenders. And well, Chebs, we've got a game on our hands here.
Yeah, it's only 1 goal separating us, and Pulse have proved they can make these comebacks in these games, even after being 2-3 goals down. And a shot coming through from Mistrack, even better save from Compact. This ball's going to drop down middle. Mistrack, great shot. Luke almost finding the way onto the post, but there's too much power on that one from Mistrack. A great pass from George. Crimson too far out, and Luke so close to saving that one, but it returns our lead to 2 for the side of Kamali in game number 5 as they get us back underway. Just over a minute to go as Luke trying to get this one out. Ball's going to head straight back across the middle. Crimson able to get a vital touch to send that one away from his own half. Compact towards net. Mistrack, great touch as now Crimson going to pass this one back. Luke's coming for it, is able to beat out one. Compact up, is going to dunk that one down, not quite on target. Luke even gets the bump for him, but can't quite find the net. As now Mistrack over the top of Crimson is going to fall to George. 50 from Luke as now Mars trying to take this one forwards. Only as far as Compact as Crimson's going to follow it up. Shot across Crimson, Compact pass to the middle, but Luke not able to follow it up. And these are the chances that Pulse need to be taking to get back into this game as Mars almost finding a 5th for the side of Kamali.
Yeah, well, Pulse need a goal and they need it quickly. They need to do what was done against them in game 4. They need to throw themselves at this game now. Luke will put it forward. That's a brilliant bounce away, though. Not if you're a Pulse fan, but George gets it away in time. Slowly ticks down. 10 seconds on the clock. And a goal is needed sooner rather than later, because if it hits 0 like this, it's over. And surely that clear from George says it's all over. Kamali, reverse sweep Pulse. No GGs from Pulse in the chat. All pure salt here as Kamali save themselves from 0-2 on the day and get a reverse sweep onto Pulse. They were the better team in those final 3 games, and it showed the fight behind it. A brilliant final game for them as they come out 3-2 winners in a real series of 2 halves here, Chebs.
Yeah, Pulse looking so strong to start, and Kamali coming back. We see it. The domination 50-50. It was such a close series, but the goals on the side of Kamali, and that's really what led us to their win. Really found their shooting boots in that 3rd game, and it just spiraled from there as Pulse are not able to find the answers. But all 3 players from Kamali taking an MVP each in each game. So for you, Kingsman, who's taking this MVP?
Well, I was going to give it to who they've given it to on the series MVP. It had to be George for me. Consistent throughout and an absolute rock for them in that game 3. 3 goals was great throughout. If I could pick anyone in the series, it would have been Crimson. But for this Kamali side who come out on top, it had to be George. The only one with a player cam, which we all appreciate as well. But alongside that, a brilliant performance. And, well, what a series on our hands. We both guessed how far the series would go, but we both guessed wrong. I mean, what a series.
Yeah, both teams playing incredibly well, but Kamali able to ice up as that series went on and proved it why they are the higher seed in that game. They really knew how to turn that series back around, and Pulse just couldn't find the answer. But looking on to the rest of the day, we can have a look back at this playoff bracket, because we've still got more action coming at you from this playoffs. And following up after this one, I believe we have this lower semi-final on our hands, which is going to be Kamali versus Eclipse, which is going to be a vital one to watch.
Yeah, it is. Both teams... Oh no, sorry. Eclipse sent Canaan's 0-2, so Eclipse are making the run now through the lower bracket, whereas Kamali look to power on after that performance, and I'd be a fool to favour Eclipse after that Kamali fight back. But yeah, that will also be on this B stream. However, there will be this stream will end just very briefly as we have a changeover in staff behind the scenes. So don't fear, the series will be here, but it might take a bit of a break for us to get underway again. But yeah, Game 5 thriller over here on the B stream. Would have been a shame if you missed it, but here we are. The 2 games will be Atmos versus Amarok on the main stream, but here, in just over 5 minutes time, we'll see Kamali take on Eclipse to see who can make that run into the top 3. Thank you all for watching. I was Kingsman, and thank you as well alongside me to Chebs for another brilliant casting performance, and from
when I start rapping, way I'll have your fucking head spinning. I'm known as spit vicious, release bombs and go tick tick. Boom, you blow me, that head missing. I'm a phenomenon, stacking cheese like it's Parmesan. 8 different flows, call me Octomom. I'm moving fast like the Autobahn, and I'm independent, so I'm not your fucking starving like it's Ramadan. Sick, twisted, gifted, can't copy, printed, can't hold me down. I shape shift, I'm liquid. I killed this beat, I might get convicted. They know how I move, it was predicted. Persistent, spoke it into existence, so consistent, no assistance. Hear me once, become addicted. If I rap it, then I live it. There's no cap, and I be speaking this. This ain't what you want, bitch. I'm a fucking phenomenon. This ain't what you want, bitch. I'm a fucking phenomenon.
In the morning, you felt so safe.